them a lesson they won't soon forget.
If that is your destination, we cannot follow. But know that your return is eagerly awaited.
What a delightful breeze. Even I know when to shut my trap.
I've little enough gold to spend as tis.
Bet this place has its shit.
Hoping we get no fruit.
Tis no simple. Here I.
Whatever am I to do?
What do you take me for?
Hope I ne'er see that wretched patron again.
Needs my help, I suppose.
Lots to do.
Master, my heart knows no greater peace than when I am by your side.
Only fools and urchins.
Got nothing to fear. Always about me.
We shall await you here, Master.
All this quiet makes me come more anxious.
Tis on me to bear what young always sets me to think.
Mayhap I'll go on an adventure of my own.
Always a fresh breeze blowing.
Have you given the matter some more thought, Wilhelmina? I would have no other as my personal courtesan. I want you all to myself. When I imagine you in the arms of another, my heart feels apt to rend itself from my breast.
Allard, pray forgive me, but I think 'twould be best for you to leave. We can discuss this matter another time.
But why? We've only just...
I am attending to a burden that all women must bear. I trust I need not elaborate further. I did not take you for the voyeuristic type. Why don't you come in? You have my thanks. Had I not noticed your presence, I might have slain him there and then. 'Tis no jest. You see, everything I've done these past few years has been leading up to this. I am here to kill him. But I cannot simply end his life. Oh no. I must first expose his misdeeds. Only then will I allow myself to grant him the miserable end he deserves. Or so I'd sworn. But I've yet to find a single shred of evidence. Perhaps the time has come to surrender this crusade. You would lend me your aid. But I've done nary a thing to earn. And recall, But I've devoted years of my life to his pursuit, with naught to show for my troubles. If the proof I seek yet exists, 'twill not be so easily. I suppose there is truly naught I can save deliver him a gruesome demise for all to behold. Still, if you insist upon searching for evidence of his crimes, 3 days. I will give you 3 days to find what you seek. I shall wait patiently, though not with bated breath.
Oh, please let our patron pick another
All
tonight.
this quiet makes me come more anxious.
The sky always puts me in a contemplative
Nice place to sit. Watch the world.
Minister Allard is a noble, yes? Do we know of anyone privy to the goings-on in the palace? What are we to do?
Suppose I can always run.
Bunch of sluggards.
We shall remain here.
Got to keep moving.
You wish to expose Allard's misdeeds? I know not whether I... but of course. Patrick may know aught that could aid you. Go to his manor come nightfall. If you say you are in my employ, you should be allowed entry with no...
Bunch of sluggards. There's a ladder here.
Ah, excellent find.
You're always such fun to talk to.
Shall we get some rest then? To this world I return.
Up we get. We can expect a busy night. Right. Shall we check our pack?
Master, if ever your pack grows cumbersome, know where ought we to go now? I am attentive and loyal, and prefer to remain. Good evening, Arisen.
It is busy out today.
Lots to be taken care of before the day's done.
Well met, sir.
All this worrying's giving me
It's nice to see everyone out
Mayhap
and
I'll
about.
seek out a town area to visit.
Now here's a welcome sight.
Let me get that.
Always sets me to think, this place.
Allard, long have I borne witness to the man's arrogance. I visited his manor once. I recall that he was rather particular about the placement. Mayhap he's concealed aught behind one. Shall I summon him here? You could make use of his absence to steal into his manor and inspect. Excellent. I will send word to him presently of some urgent. Once you've seen him depart his manor, make your way inside.
This is generally used as a material.
I'm sure we'll find a purpose for it in due time.
Done by done.
How everyone else makes it.
Anywhere's better than the middle of a crowd.
Wonder if anyone else shares my sorrows.
Silence cultivates wisdom.
This place always puts me at ease. I've not much to offer you, sir, I fear. No one wants
My
that
list of
here.
duties grows here.
Perhaps this will serve as evidence.
Sometimes this is the only place you can find peace.
I've walked right when I know
Better apprised of such matters. Just yonder looks to be a good spot for harvesting ingredients.
Shall we see if there's aught to be found while we're here?
I'll collect that. You needn't trouble yourself. This might be worth a read.
Shall we take a closer look?
Well met, sir. Fancy a gander?
As a reward for your Majesty's efforts, you have been invited to attend the coronation. You will, of course, require raiment befitting of the occasion. I would ask that your Majesty return once. There is much we ought to tend to, if we are to strengthen your Majesty's to think that the proprietress of the Myrmecolian was plotting such a thing. Under normal circumstances, I would not overlook such a clear admission of murderous intent. But this is Allard we speak of. Of all the Queen Regent's sycophants, he possesses the greatest authority. His fall from grace would do much to further our cause. But where to find perhaps the merchants he deals with possess aught that could serve us. Merchants with connections to Allard will reside in the merchant quarter. Though some piece of physical evidence would be far less easily refuted than mere testimony, I should think. This is a memorandum of Allard's. According to this, afore attaining his current status, he was in the employ of a merchant, and in order to claim the merchant's property as his own, he murdered the man and his wife, staging it as an accident. It is a grave affair indeed. Should this article prove genuine, I have every faith 'twould be sufficient to condemn him for all. The deed was monstrous, and yet, considering my position, I am afraid I cannot condone the man's assassination. I know not the path I should follow. What is your intent going forward, Your Majesty? Very well. I would place my faith in you, However, know that should he be assassinated, I cannot offer you my... Now, pray bear the evidence you've discovered to the Myrmecolian. I will do everything in my power.
So the captain is willing to aid you only if you do not stain your hands in blood. I hope you shan't disappoint him.
Right you are.
Perhaps a stroll through town. See what I can find.
I've wares of every ilk.
A crime committed here will see one confined to jail.
I've heard that jailers are paid a pittance, despite the hardships of their work.
Then a bribe might avail us, should the time come.
Silence cultivates wisdom.
It is generally used as a material.
I'm sure we'll find a purpose for it.
We shall remain here.
I'm just grateful I get to lead a quiet life. These cold bones.
This place is very dreary.
Seems my humming would be unwelcome.
So many happy voices carried on the wind. What is life without a little spice? So many happy voices. What is life without a little spice? There's no shame in living life.
Seems my humming would be involved. No one wants to hear.
Ought to set my nose to the ground.
There's comfort in the humdrum of daily life.
So many happy voices. Some call it cultured. I call it
It's on
dull.
me to bear what younger souls can't.
I find myself drawn to quiet. Last night's patron was a delight. Sometimes this is the only place I can find peace.
It's the same. They are today. Just how I like it.
Where was I headed?
All this quiet makes me come o'er anxious.
I find myself drawn to quiet. What to do with myself today?
What was it I had planned for tomorrow?
To keep my arms strong and my mind
Always sets me to thinking in this place.
Turn my coin while I can.
So, you've returned. I confess, I thought you might not. I was ready to settle things myself. Well, did you find what you were looking for? Thank you. I can't believe you found this. All that remains is to end that man's life with my own hand. I've no other tasks for you. This partnership of ours has... Unless you intend to see this through till the end. You're a curious one, aren't you? But what's just as cute is that I can't bring myself to refuse you. All right, if... Come with me. Allard is in the room to the left. Go in and restrain him for me, would you? Never mind the mask. Consider it a charm of sorts.
At last. It feels like an age has passed since... What is this? Who are you?
Don't let him escape.
Do not waste my... Get your hands off me, you fiend! Don't you know who I am? Oh, you hang for this impudence!
Oh, Allard. I've always wanted to see you like this.
That voice... Wilhelmina! But why? Why would you...
Do you still fail to recall? Even with this mask staring you in the face. But I suppose for a man such as you, a little murder here or there is hardly worth remembering.
What mockery is this?
In your youth, you slew 2 individuals. The merchant whom you served, and his wife. They had a child, as I am sure you are aware. A newborn babe who was spirited away by her loyal wet nurse.
You mean to tell me you were their child? But how can this be? Your mother, she was a beastren. Surely her child would be one as well.
A fair assumption. But for better or worse, I didn't take after my mother. Save for in one respect. This is for my mother. And this is for my father. The time has come for all your sins to come to light, Allard.
Mr. Allard, has something happened?
We've been noticed. I suppose a scream that hideous was bound to attract some attention. We can't leave the way we came in. Fortunately, there's a window here.
You have done what you set out to do, I trust. Then come, Master. Let us quit this place.
I was afraid I might find you here. I cannot believe you would stoop to such... No. This is not the time. You will be able to slip out the rear entrance. Follow me and...
That was certainly well handled. I suppose I ought not to have expected any... Pray, visit me at the Myrmecolian tomorrow evening. Till then...
You have my protection. Get on. I shall propel you into the air.
This is more than I can bear.
Reckon you can do as you please, eh? Predicament.
Just let it end. There's a ladder here.
We ought to put it to good use. We can see far from here, to the land beyond the sea.
One day, when we're well prepared, perhaps we might venture there and explore.
Right, door's locked. That should do it.
Suppose I ought to have...
Have you business in Batal?
Shall we get some rest then? "'Tis a perilous journey of..." It appears night has fallen while we slept.
Shall we check our packs and be off? A new day, a new perspective.
Might as well. Won't someone do aught about this?
Just yonder looks to be a good spot for harvesting ingredients.
No harm in picking a few.
Suppose courage can only take you so far.
Sometimes this is the only place I can...
The sculptor's home is located in Embark.
We shall await you here, Master.
Without its charm.
Oh, please let that patron pick another tonight.
Thank you. I finally achieved my purpose here, and I owe it all to you. 'Twould seem the residents of the palace have chosen to treat Allard's untimely passing as an accident. I imagine they deemed it safer not to make a fuss of the incident after perusing the evidence you uncovered for me. Shrewd as a den of foxes. I'll give them that. I truly cannot thank you enough. But I want to try. Just this once, I'll give you something special. I'll grant unto you the sweetest of dreams. I know not what I would do without you. You have my thanks, but 'tis time to say farewell for now. Just know that my baudelry will e'er be your haven, should you have need of it.
At least all my patrons have been kind so far.
I'm scared to fall bread on these
Crowns
meager
and
wages.
politics are no concern of mine. That is quite the quandary.
I get along with them.
Off to market I go.
Can't help but talk in a whisper when I'm here.
The sky always puts me in a contemplative mood. There's no shame in living life for its pleasures.
Ever goes right.
Feels eerie with no smell.
I have been waiting for you, Arisen.
Can't wait for the new equipment to come in. Will someone do aught about this?
My bed.
Take it easy.
There's a ladder here. We ought to put it to good use. Master, if ever your pack grows cumbersome, no. Good morrow to you, Arisen.
I enjoy tackling fierce foes and prefer combat's thrills to... gathering up. I dare say I've accomplished a few feats to be proud of. Let us work together to... This rumor has been troubling me ever since I first caught wind of it. Apparently, there is an illness... we pawns can catch beyond the rift that makes us a danger to ourselves and others.
Symptoms include an unruly attitude and overconfidence, and in the end...
Well, you will soon forget the fatigue of a long journey when treated to the foremost hospitality. Much obliged.
Now here's a welcome sight.
Look as long as you please.
Interested in my way? There's pleasure doing business with.
Not buying? That's just as well. Better to be selective than wasteful.
Gold is a resource best spent judiciously.
Seems my always leaving.
Welcome, and well met. Now here's a welcome sight.
Good heavens! He's crawling with nuts.
Well met, sir.
There is much we ought to tend to. If aught shall change once we have attended the coronation. If your majesty has any unfinished business to attend to, 'tis best you do very well. Praying, is there aught else you would speak of, your majesty? Do not forget that we work.
Was the same.
This really is fine. Come take a look. You'll be glad you did. Always a pleasure.
As I recall, the location of another of our tasks is not far from here.
We shall have to decide which is the most pressing. We cannot do everything at once.
This journey will be a long one.
I'm not taking any passengers.
Seems my feet always lead me here.
It's been a hard day.
This ox cart, I'll not take you anywhere till I've had my due.
Weapons are simple enough to procure if we've the coin, but we might be lucky enough to find some in treasure chests.
You have my...
Use me as your foothold to
allow any further harm to come to you.
It seems we have enraged our foe. Might we not use our rage to our advantage? I am well aware of the particulars. Our foe appears to have grown just as weary as we. We must not give them a chance to recover. A focused attack will end this foe. Everything's up under rest after all that. What was that? Now, what might that be?
We ought to take a closer look.
See, you cannot manage without me for a moment, Arisen.
You had best rid yourself of that slime with all due haste. Little need for a campsite at present.
Let us return once we've grown tired from our labors.
Come to think of it, we're all of differing vocations, aren't we?
Our respective abilities are unique as well.
Let us utilize our individual strengths wherever possible.
No sense letting the enemy gain the upper hand. The early griffin gets the worm, as they say.
One can see far to the distance from here.
We are alone here, methinks. Perhaps we might stop a moment and find our bearings. Weapons are simple enough to procure if we've the coin, but we might be lucky enough to find some in treasure chests.
Right you are.
I suspect the lad's enthusiasm will go a long way toward inspiring his peers. Let us inform Sir Baron of his coming. Fret not, Master. I know precisely where this person can be found.
We're in your hands, sir. Much obliged. Goodness. We're higher up than I'd thought.
Take care not to fall.
Careful now!
Pray, light your lantern, Master.
Well met. Have you any weapons for me? Good of you to go to the trouble. Many thanks. We'll gladly make use of what you've given us. I've you to thank for that news. The lad's well eager, he is. He fears naught, and he follows my command. Soldiers like him boost the morale of all around them. His presence bodes well, and I've you to thank for it. There's just one problem. Seeing a lad so spirited, so foolhardy, makes me recall a time when I was much the same. Sets my blood to boiling, you see. Makes me yearn for a... Need I explain further? What say you? Care to spar with me a bit? Glad to hear it. Think of it like a game. Whoever, seeing as you're no warrior, you do well to strike when I'm off balance. Let's begin.
One of us has been doused in slime.
I dare say I need... I've ne'er met anyone like you. You've a commendable sort, you are.
Sir Baron, you must come! A goblin pack has descended over by the rope bridge. We're in need of your aid!
My thanks for the report. I'll go at once. Goblins can be dastardly. We'll have need of capable fighters. The more, the better. I'd fain have you at my side. Wait! I here! Watch my back!
Mayhap a virus peace. What about this place makes me nervous?
The best quality sells it. There's no easy thing.
There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
Shall we see if there's aught to be found while we're here?
What was that?
We have found a material. Different combinations of materials result in different creations.
Randall! What happened? Speak to me, lad!
Sir, we managed to fell the goblins, but then a cyclops charged us out of nowhere. We stuck the beast with arrows till one of them pierced its eye. It fled, but I've no doubt 'twill return.
Never mind that, lad. You survived, and that's what counts. Let's get you... Twould seem my days of peace are at an end. Do you recall the soldier we met on the road? He was rather badly injured in the goblin melee. They'll want me to take responsibility for that, I just know it. Shan't be long before I'm forced to resign from my post. I doubt such a thing would be asked of any human instructor. But I'm big. There's no fighting it. But I'll be damned if I let the troops suffer on my account. In the time that remains to me, I'll get the...
The fiends were fouled, yet Sir Baron will be made to suffer all the same. hard life for beastrons in Vermont.
Over here, if you...
Please.
There is much we ought to tend, or shall change once we... If your majesty has any unfinished business to attend to, 'tis best you do so afore we depart.